Good morning, and welcome to your daily Farm and Home Show, brought to you by the University of Kentucky Cooperative Extension Service. And now, here's your host.
Good morning and welcome to your Farm and Home Show. My name is Joanna, and this morning we're visiting with Dr. Travis Legleiter. He's with the University of Kentucky as an extension weed scientist there. Good morning, Travis.
Good morning.
Now, Travis, you've brought along some weeds with us today that we're going to talk about. But, you know, it seems like the weed population, with the moisture that we have a lot of weeds. This is something that we've seen before, but it can present some challenges.
Yes. So this is a weed that pretty much if you farm in Kentucky, you've dealt with this, so with Marestail. So it's, there's plenty of out there. As we drive around the fields, there's still lots of Marestail out there, and it's done very well this year as a weed.
And these actually are small. Most of the Marestail can be all stages right now.
Yep, and that's the one thing about Marestail that makes it so difficult, is it really can emerge pretty much throughout the year. As long as it's not freezing outside, it has a potential to emerge, and that's what gives it the advantage. And so these are fairly small, and that was intentional to try to get some small ones here. These were in double crop soybeans, so they just emerged probably in June or July, but you can see how big they are already.
Now, what's our control options?
So we do have quite a few control options. You know, there's a lot of products typically before the crop goes in the ground. So as far as a burn down, if you're using a product that has cyflophenicyl or sharpen in it, that's probably your best option, or dicamba or 2,4-D. And now with the Enlist and Extend beans, you have those post options as well. But rather than talking just herbicides, I like to talk about the size of the weed, and that's really what's critical. So weeds this size, this one here is probably the max we really want to be trying to kill. Yes, we can kill some that are bigger than this, but we like it like this, or this size, or even the rosette. So I didn't have any rosettes to bring today, but that's when it's still growing flat to the ground. That's when these weeds are easiest to kill with the herbicide.
But a lot of times, it's not what we recognize. We don't even recognize that when it's in the rosette stage as Marestail.
So that's part of the key, is to recognize it as that rosette when it first starts to emerge. And so the best time to do that, at least is to go out in the fall as well as early in the spring. So if you have stuff that's coming up in the fall, which not every farmer will, it'll depend on field to field, but if you have stuff that comes up in the fall, the best thing to do is try to actually go out there and control it in the fall. Because if you wait till spring, the problem is by the time we can get out there in the spring, it's going to be this big or even larger.
And with Kentucky's kind of roller coaster weather, we never know when it's going to be, and scouting is super important to kind of keep up, because sometimes we can have really warm weeks and it kind of shoot up. And so what's the life cycle of this weed?
So it's traditionally a winter annual. It is an annual, so we just call it an annual because, again, you do have some that come up in the spring, some that come out in the fall. But again, these right here more likely came up probably May, June, or July, because they're in double wheat beans. So they were coming up as that wheat canopy was starting to open up, as that wheat matured, and then they start to emerge at that point in time. So we typically just call them an annual because they do emerge throughout the year. So these will go ahead and put on seed heads this fall and produce seed for next year. So those plants will likely then come up again next spring at that point in time.
So if you have a problem, you're probably going to continue to have a problem until you find some way to control.
So I don't think we're ever going to get rid of Marestail, and part of the thing is it's seed dispersal mechanism as well. So if you've ever seen the seed heads on these, and if you drive around, you can see those seed heads. They're these big, fluffy seed heads, and every little seed is going to travel with the wind, and it's going to travel quite a ways too. So so just because you're managing it, unfortunately, if your neighbor's not, you may still get it back.
Now, do we have any resistance issues with this?
So there are resistance issues with this. So I would say pretty much most of the state of Kentucky, most plants are going to be glyphosate resistant, most Marestail plants. We also have Als Inhibitor Resistance, so products like First Rate and Classic are what we really depended on for quite a while to control these, and now we really can't. And if you're still controlling these with First Rate and Classic, that's wonderful, but I'll just say that if you do it for the next 2 years, you're not going to control them much longer. So the research farm we have in Princeton, we were able to kill it with First Rate and Classic 2 years ago. We can't any longer. So that's the way it goes. It only takes about 2 years for these to become resistant. And so far, that's really all they're resistant to so far. So again, that's where some of these new soybean technologies like the Enlist beans or Extend beans or even Liberty beans that really have an advantage, because those do bring products that we can kill these weeds with.
Yeah, because once they get mature, they can get rather large and stemmy, and so just something that we want to get rid of at this stage.
At this stage. This is when we want to be spraying them.
All right, that's the take-home message. Identify, make sure that you're scouting your fields, and control Marestail when it's small. Now, if you have questions about Marestail control or resistance, make sure to give your extension office a call, and we'd be happy to help. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.
If you have questions about today's topic, please call the Warren County Extension Office at the number on your screen. Thanks for watching and have a great day.